Hello everyone, Miss Art Garden here, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on digitally painting noses from different angles, and this was suggested by Fernando Yanmar. Let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, we're going to have to sketch out the noses a little bit before we paint them. Go ahead and start with the front view nose, and I'm just going to start with the nostrils, is usually how I start this one. Draw it out however you want, that'll help you paint it. You know, just draw the two nostrils, touch of nose bottom here, draw a little bit of a bulbous area here, and then sketch in the nostril pins area here. Just something, you know, messy, sketchy, doesn't matter as long as, you know, you can kind of tell. I'll draw in those two lines to help you out. I sure hope you guys can see. Let's draw these a little bit bigger. And then I'm just going to make one little tiny adjustment and then we'll move on to the next one. And like when you're drawing these, you know, when you're going to paint over them, you don't have to be super worried about how your drawing looks. Just something kind of sketchy to put the placements in. Okay, and then the next nose we would draw would be the profile nose. So we'll just go ahead and draw the bridge in and then like a little bit of a bulbous area. And I'm going to just put a little tiny dip there when I'm sketching this in, because usually that goes in then to like the lip area there. For my own preference, I like to draw a little bulbous area in there to kind of help with placement, and then we'll draw the nostril in and it'll curve. The hook will be on this side, and of course some of this depends on like whose nose you're drawing and how you want your style to look, but just, you know, for a general idea, that will be the middle nose. And I'm gonna just bring in this little tiny bit there, draw this little nose in area there. I'm just gonna match the size out a little bit more, and let's just draw this one. There's the bridge of the nose here. The little bulbous part goes under here, and just kind of shape it how you want. And that's the, you know, top area of the nose there. The nostrils, this time the hook will be kind of there from that angle, and we'll just draw in the nostril area there. And then you can see a little tiny bit of the nostril here from the underside. Just draw the bend area of that nostril there. So those are the three angles that we're going to be doing. And let's go ahead and make a color layer. Before I continue, I'm going to change the background color, something like that. Okay, so we'll get kind of a medium color for the skin tone. Okay, so just something like that. Next we're gonna put in a few shadows to start with, so let's pick a nice shadow color. I'm gonna turn my opacity down. So let's go ahead and put some like under each like bulbous part of the nose, just a general shadow to start with on all of them. That's the number one step. And you can see even in this stage with the line art, it just gives the nose a little bit more dimension to have that. Another thing is there's kind of a U bend here that you could put a shadow in, because this area here and this area here always have a little bit of shadow. And you can actually do this for all three shapes, because this area will have the shadow here, and then you know, this area here, just kind of a half U here. So that gives it a little bit more shape, and it kind of puts in the shadow where those nostril areas are. And speaking of nostrils, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of shadow where each of the nostril, I don't know what you call them, the flares of the nostril areas are. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our sketch a little bit more transparent. You can kind of see this starting to take shape already. With a little bit lighter of a shadow, we'll go ahead and add in, you know, just some areas here. What you're trying to accomplish is just kind of show where the nose sticks out a little bit more. So here and here and here, just to kind of emphasize that the shadow is behind the bridge of the nose in all of these pictures. And then we're going to take a darker shadow and we're going to apply it in some of the areas where the shadow would be sticking out a little bit more, especially the nostrils. Like I said, they'll without a doubt be the darkest part, and then like right under the nose always has kind of dark, and then behind the inside nostrils, I guess I should say, are the darkest part, where the, like, you know, the shadow won't be reaching, or no light will be reaching, because they're right under the nose. And then, you know, if you want to emphasize these little triangular shadows here and here, you can do that. You can do this one here. They kind of have just sort of a triangular shadow shape, and like I said, it kind of depends on the nose you're drawing. I'm going to make a slight adjustment on the color. Just wanted to make that just a little tiny bit redder before we moved on. So now I'm going to pick the color dodge tool. And if you are not using Photoshop, just pick a nice like highlighted color. And I'm going to pick like this, you know, sort of yellow. I'm going to change my opacity down to like 6%, change my hardness. And with kind of a big brush, I'm going to go in and start working in some highlighted areas. So like just right on the bridge of the nose, the tip of the nose will be the most highlighted area in most cases. So we'll, you know, go ahead and just add kind of a circular highlight right at the peak there, and then down the bridge of the nose. Kind of up here we'll have a little bit, because this area here is actually going to be more shadowed, because that's kind of right where the nose dips in right before your forehead comes back out a little bit. While we're at it, we'll add some to the sides of the nostrils where a little bit of light will be catching, and if you want, just add a little bit down at the nose. Sometimes a little bit under the nostril catches, especially from this angle. There'll be like a little highlight area there, so we'll go ahead and add those in. Let's go ahead and take our sketch. And you can see the noses already are starting to take shape. So now pretty much all we have to do at this point is refine them, and I'm going to show you how to refine them a little bit and how to add a little more detail. So let's go back to normal, and I'm going to bump my opacity back up to around the 25% and my hardness up just a little tiny bit, and I'm going to go in with a real dark color and kind of work in the shadows of these nostrils, these inner nostril areas. So there's that one there. We'll do one for this one, and we'll do this one here, and then we'll do this one here. And I forgot about one thing here. So with this nose, we want a little bit of the shadow to appear underneath it to kind of demonstrate it, and then we'll want a little bit like there and a little tiny bit of highlight there. And we're just going to kind of work that in. So that just kind of shows that the nose is at that angle. And then we're just going to kind of work in some of these areas here. I'm going to take a shadow now and just kind of work it under the noses, bring out some of these shadowed areas, and under the nose is exactly where the light won't be reaching, so we'll go ahead and add that in there. And then on the other side, I'm gonna add a few more highlighted areas. So, you know, just kind of make your brush a little smaller, work in some highlights, and you can blend those in later. And just right where you think the most highlighted areas will be, I'm gonna go ahead and just erase that, make that little bit shape a little bit nicer because it's a little out of control right now. And then go back to highlighting. So a little bit of highlight there, where it'll catch, and we can add a little more up on that nose, and then maybe right where the nostrils catching the light there, and then a little bit over here at the tip of the nose and at that nostril area, and a little tiny bit down here, like I said. And then make your brush real small and add some under that area there. For right now, that looks, you know, just kind of designates the nostril areas. I'm going to go in with just pure black now and add the final little blend of blackness to the nostrils now that I have it. And this one over here, just a little bit right there. Okay, and then with a highlight, if you want to do similar to what we did over here, if you want to go in and give these nostrils a little bit more area here, and then just anywhere you want to kind of give some more detail or show where it's sticking out, you can add a little highlight here. This is sort of a it's not real super realistic. It's more like a style choice that I do, like right under the bridge of the nose there. And it just kind of brings it out more, and I think it looks a little bit nicer. So then to finish this all off, you can go in with a nice dark color, like I said, and work in these nostrils, and just generally work in any last little shadows that you want. Okay, and I didn't quite nail the coloring on this one, but it's okay. You can just go in and maybe make a few little adjustments here and there. I hope that you found this tutorial helpful, and if you have any more questions or comments or suggestions for what you want me to do in the future, be sure to leave a suggestion down in the comment section. So thank you very much. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.